Hi everyone, I'm Donglin, and I will begin to introduce the purpose and foundation of our group project. Our development is based at 33 Stanley Avenue in Milford, Auckland, and it involves the construction of 5 two-story units on a slope site with a shared driveway, which creates some logistical challenges for deliveries and crane operations. These site-specific conditions were considered early on and shaped our initial planning. In line with what we learned from chapters 1, 2, 3 of the CPM textbook, we had developed a form project chapter to define the project scope, goals, and the key parameters. Our objectives are to obtain building consent by September 2025 and complete all construction and fit-out work by December 2026, and the target 15% return on investment through sales in Q1 of 2027. Our deliverables include not just the 5 two-story homes with garage and landscaping, but also the required complaints document, a sale brochure, and the marketing package that supports a sale-ready finish. We have also clearly stated our assumptions and constraints. For example, we assume no major delays from weather or supply issues, and that market conditions will remain stable. On the constraint side, we are working within a New Zealand dollars 2.5 million budget with limited site access and zoning restrictions on working hours. Lastly, we identified a balanced set of stakeholders, including the project sponsor, project manager, contractors, the Auckland Council, and also the neighborhoods and future buyers. This structure lays the foundation for our whole planning phase and ensure that our goals, constraints, and the team responsibilities are all aligned from the start. Now I will hand it over to Yuanhong to talk to walk you through our working breakdown structure and the project's working breakdown structure.
Hi everyone, I'm Yuan Hong. I'll be introducing how we structure the project task using a work breakdown structure and how that supports effect planning and execution. To manage the scope and coordination of our project effectively, we adapt to a phase work breakdown structure where the entire process is split into major construction stage, such as site preparation, framing, external cladding, and internal works. This structure follows the deliver focus principle from CPM 7, chapter 7, and help us align deliverable with team responsibility. And we will present this structure as a detailed task list with start date, duration, and end dates for each activities. For example, within framing work, we broke down the process into specific steps such as steel beam installation, joist and truss delivery, and carpentry inspection. This allow contractors to better manage squeezing and avoid miscommunication on site. And later stage like internal works go into even more detail, listing everything from jeep fixing and sock cut outs to kitchen joinery and final cleaning. Uh, this fine uh, gr- this fine grade task has especially used for subcontractor coordination and tracking quarterly milestone. One thing to highlight is that although we didn't use traditional WBS numbering codes here, we extend the structure to include supervision and compliance activities such as post-line inspection, council final inspection, and occupies certificate. These tasks show that we are not just focused on construction, but on delivering a complete sale-ready product. Overall, this structure supports better scheduling, delegation, and visibility across the project timeline. So I'll now hand over to Ying to walk you through our resource plan and budget.
Hi, I'm Ying. Today I'll give you a quick run through of our project schedule, resource allocation, and budget. So we broke the project down into clear phases, like follow the normal construction process. These include design, approvals, site preparation, construction, interior work, and then sales and the marketing at the end. We followed the scheduling method from chapter 6 of the CPM textbook. So tasks happen in a logical order, but we've also allocated some flexible in case we need to adjust timelines. The project starts with the design phase in weeks 1 to 6, where we created the layout and the overall design. Then from weeks 5 to 12, we worked on getting council consent and all the paperwork sorted. Construction begins in week 13 and runs to week 30, covering foundations, framing, roofing, and so on. After that, from weeks 31 to 40, we move into the interior fit out, doing things like plasterboard, kitchen, and bathroom installs. Finally, weeks 41 to 45 are all about final checks, landscaping, and getting the houses ready for sale. Now let's talk about money. The total budget is 2.5 million, including a 10% contingency just in case anything unexpected happens. Pretty standard in project management. Here's how the budget breaks down. Architect 90K for design, engineer 40,000 for structure, main contractor, this is the big one, 2.1 million, project manager 35,000 for the whole project, legal and permit 22,500, not including source consent. And the contingency I mentioned is about 228,750. One thing to note, FFE, so things like furniture, appliance, and lights are not included here. Those will be handled later under the sales strategy. That's my part done. Now I will hand over to Shui, who will talk about our risk management.
Hi, my name is Shui. I will be sharing the details of our risk management plan for the project. We followed and improved on the 5-step risk management process introduced in Chapter 11, which includes identifying each risk, listing its triggering conditions, assessing probability and impact, developing response strategies, assigning responsibilities, and finally prioritizing based on urgency and severity. Let me briefly walk you through the types of risks we identified. We've covered a mix of high and medium risks, both in terms of likelihood and impact. For instance, one of our key high risks is building consent delay, which we plan to mitigate through early submission and consent follow-up. Another major concern is subcontractor shortage, and we avoid this. We pre-contract with the multiple subcontractors in advance. We've also included a few moderate but realistic risks, like material price increase, design change, and weather-related delays, which we plan to manage through earlier planning, cost buffers, and scheduling flexibility. Finally, we added one low probability but high impact risk, soil contamination with a accept strategy and a provisional budget just in case. In terms of structure, we earlier defined who is responsibility for each risk, whether it's a project management, main contractor, or planner, and use the priority column to help the teams focus on what matters most. This gives us a visible reference so that higher impact risk can be delayed with first. To ensure this plan stays relevant throughout the project life cycle, we've also set up a review machinates the project management where a lead weekly team meeting to review, update, and track the risk register. This reflects the idea and risk management is not a one-time task, but an ongoing process. Finally, we also include a note on quality, health, safety, and environment control. This covers console inspections, safe work method statement, and the code compliance certificate, all of which are critical to safe and compliance. Thank you so much.